When it comes to law enforcement in this part of the country, how do Hispanics cope? This and more coming up on Perspectives. Hello, I'm Sam Jones. This perspective is going to be short and to the point. Recently, Governor Mary Fallin issued a proclamation asking Christians to pray for the blessings created by the oil and natural gas industry. Interesting. She then revised it to be more inclusive, to ask people of all faiths to pray for the industry. Again, that's interesting. This from a governor, you understand, who has led the tax cut charge. This from a governor that supported legislative cutting of the earned income tax credit for 355,000 low-income Oklahomans. And by the way, that same bunch passed legislation that stopped cities and towns all across the state that wanted to establish mandatory minimum wage and employee benefits. So let me just see here if I've got this right. Those elected to lead, in effect, declared war on those just trying to feed themselves. Then, when nobody was looking, this same bunch, after hours at night, voted to increase their own operating budget by $4 million. Meanwhile, in addition to stepping on the poor, every state agency is strapped for cash and undergoing cutbacks. Kind of interesting how the governor didn't stop the last round of tax cuts or roll back the one before, knowing we were headed into more financial troubles. You know, God, I'm told, is kind of busy, and I can't help but wonder if he really has time for political foolishness. In her first proclamation for oil and gas, a prayer for them, it called for Christians only. Then somebody must have pointed out that there are others who pray too, and a lot of them are Republicans. So here came a new proclamation that included all who pray. Now, you know, I have to wonder about it. There is no doubt that the oil and gas industry needs help, but is a public call for divine intervention the answer? And can anybody in government say with a straight face that if the oil and gas industry is able to recover, that we won't see another round of tax cuts? Well, here are a couple of points. Number one, why haven't I heard anybody in the governor's office calling for prayers for the poor, the hungry, the homeless, or people working 2 and even 3 jobs just to keep their heads above water, or those unable to find work, or even perhaps prayers for the mentally ill? You know, the state is facing a water problem. Why no prayer requests from the governor to deal with that? You know, we're about to get hit with another budget shortfall, which nobody's talking about, and which will result in more severe cuts. Who's going to feel it? Find somebody in this state that won't. Perhaps a call for prayer is the answer to our problems, but somewhere in that prayer should be a request for help for the governor and the legislature to start working for the people instead of themselves. And that's my perspective. Coming up, he is the man in charge of Hispanic relations within the Tulsa Police Department. You'll meet him next, right after this.